how do you recession proof your life? The first thing you need to do is set, and I'm going to use the word bigger, goals. Okay? You need to set bigger goals. Mr. Atkins, I see you showing up in the chat. Louisville, Kentucky is in the house on this beautiful Monday afternoon. The first thing that you need to do to recession proof your life is you need to set bigger goals. Okay, you need to set bigger goals. To some extent, we all have goals. If I talk to you long enough, I'm sure I'm going to hear something about a goal that you got. You want more money. You want financial freedom. You want your credit report to be better. You want to be married and happy. You want to be healthy. You want to lose weight. You want to buy a house. You want to pay your car off. Everybody got goals. What I'm saying to you is, not necessarily prioritizing, but building a life that is recession proof, it really requires you to set bigger goals. Okay? And the reason why I'm saying to set bigger goals, because most people who have goals, they don't have bigger enough goals. Their goals ain't big enough. Okay, so for example, if you have something you want to do that's going to require $1,000, most of the times what you going to do, you're going to set $1,000 goal, right? But what I'm saying is, if you got something that's going to require $1,000, you need to be setting a $5,000 or $10,000 goal, not a $1,000 goal. See, in real estate investing and in business acquisitions or in the financial engineering part of what we do with our private equity firm, I call this underwriting the deal. So if I have something that I need to do that's going to require me $1,000, I'm going to underwrite it. I'm going to do a risk assessment, and I'm going to build into my goal not just the $1,000 that I need, but the other $3,000-$4,000 that I probably need that I don't see I'm going to need. And this is what a lot of people do. A lot of people say, well, I want to save $1,000 or I want to make an extra $1,000. Well, in order for you to save $1,000, you might have to have an extra $3,000 or $4,000 just to save $1,000. In order for you to make an extra $1,000, you may have to have a goal to make 3 or 4 or 5 extra thousand, so that if you don't hit the goal, you still land somewhere close to where you originally wanted to be. So when you set bigger goals, you expand your mind and give yourself greater capacity. Okay, does that make sense? When you set bigger goals, you expand your mind and you give yourself greater capacity. Now, I'm going to be talking about some of this tonight during my live coaching call. Every Monday night, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern, we host a live coaching call for our Millionaire Blueprint community. We have a coaching and educational community built around this program that I created called the Millionaire Blueprint. And literally, it is a program that shows individuals and entrepreneurs how to become millionaires, how to build a $1 million enterprise. Now, of course, I could give you all the information in the world. You still got to put this information to work. Nevertheless, tonight I'm going to be digging deeper into what I'm talking about today, but I'm giving y'all a freebie on the live show even before we have our call tonight. So the first thing you need to do is you need to set bigger goals. You need to set bigger goals. Why? Because setting bigger goals, it opens your mind. It gives you greater capacity. So whatever the financial goals are that you have, you really need to multiply that by 3 to 5, maybe 7 to 10. Because if you don't, when you start hitting resistance in the process of reaching that goal, if your goal is not big enough, you're not going to have the capacity to deal with the resistance that's inevitable. We all going to have resistance. We all going to have problems. We all gonna have unexpected things, but a lot of us, we don't we don't adequately prepare for them when we're setting our goals. So when I set my goal, I got to set my goal in a way that I factor in or I underwrite and count up the cost of all the problems or potential problems that's going to show up while I'm on my way to fulfill my goal. So somebody say, I want to make $10,000 this year. I want to make $100,000 this year. I want to make a milli. I want to get a milli, right? Or whatever it is that you want to do. I want to build my business. You need to have a goal so much bigger that even when you fail, you still end up doing the very thing you wanted to do, even if you fail, because your goal was that much bigger. I hope what I'm saying you understand, okay? Second thing you need to do, and this is hard for some people, you need to prioritize income. You need to prioritize income. I know that's hard for some people to understand for some strange, ridiculous reason. People do not understand that they have to prioritize income. Okay? I want you to repeat after me. Please repeat after me. So far, I want you to repeat after me. I want you to say, as of today. Come on, say it. As of today, I will set bigger goals. Come on, say it. And I will prioritize income. I wish I could hear you saying it. As of today, I will set bigger goals and I will prioritize income. Listen to me, ladies and gentlemen. I don't care what income you are currently making. You could be making $10 an hour, $100 an hour, $1,000 an hour. What's more important is that you prioritize the income that you're making. I hear people have all these lame excuses. I hear it all the time. Okay? That's one of the things I don't like about coaching people, especially people who refuse to grow and expand themselves and educate themselves and build a mental muscle. It's one of the things that I don't like about it. And it is what it is. One of the things I don't like about that is when people refuse to understand that your income is by far your number one wealth building tool. Okay? Your income is by far your number one wealth building tool. Everybody want to get rich. Everybody want financial freedom. Everybody want to be wealthy. Everybody want to be a millionaire, but nobody wants to take the time to prioritize the little bit of money that they are making. Now, I know your argument might be, yeah, but dog, you don't understand though. I don't make enough money to do everything I want to do. Duh, make more money. That's why you prioritize income. Well, how you gonna just tell me to make more money? How can I just make more money? You make more money by becoming a better version of yourself, by giving more value to the workforce or to the marketplace, by committing to bigger goals that are tied to more income, and you prioritize that and you get rid of all the goofy stuff that you've given all your income away to. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because the same person who's complaining about not having enough income, if you look at their bank statement, you will see where all their income is going. All their income is going places where it shouldn't go. Now, does that mean you have to literally like live under a bridge? No. But what it does mean is you might have to eat dirt for about 5 years. What it does mean is you might be wearing the same 5 outfits for a couple years. What it does mean is you might not be going on vacations. What it does mean is every time there's an emergency in somebody else's life, you ain't the one jumping up to help them because you ain't got it. That's what it means. It means that I am prioritizing income, and I'm not only looking for creative ways to increase my income, but I want to hold on to as much as that income as I possibly can, because I do not want to be the goofy pond, Okay, the goofy pawn that gets income just to give it away. I don't want to be that goofball. I don't want to be that person. And trust me, I used to be that person. All of us at some point in our lives are that person. But you got to wake up and you got to make the decision not to be that person. So number 2, you got to prioritize income. Number 3, and this goes for everyone, think like a business. Think like a business. Think like a business. You got to think like a business. You could be unemployed, think like a business. You could be employed, a W-2 employee working for a company, think like a business. You could be a stay-at-home parent, think like a business. You could be on a fixed income, think like a business. You could be living under the bridge that I was talking about earlier, think like a business. Now, how do you think like a business? Well, it goes back to number 2, because if you were to look at a business profit and loss statement, at the top of that profit and loss statement is going to be a thing called sales or revenue or profits, which is another word for income. All right. In the middle, you're going to have all these expenses. And at the bottom, you're going to have the net profits. So it's gross profits, revenue, sales, whatever the word is that they use in the financial system. And then you got the net revenue, the net income, the net profits. Okay. And then you got the expenses in the middle. So one of the first things that a business is supposed to do is prioritize income and always set bigger goals to grow and to expand. Now, if you think like a business as an individual, you're going to not only prioritize income, but you're going to do whatever you possibly can to shrink the expenses and the costs associated to waking up every day. You're not always just trying to spend money. You're trying to make money, and you're trying to repurpose that money within your business ecosystem so that your business doesn't go bankrupt. Okay? You have to think like a businessman or woman. You got to think like a business. Now, another thing that you do when you think like a business is you have to be clear about your balance sheet. Okay? Every business should have a balance sheet. And a balance sheet is made up of the assets that this business has and the liabilities this business has. Okay? I was going through this exercise with my staff one day last week, and we started putting this whole list together of different types of assets and different types of liabilities. So you have financial assets and liabilities. For us as believers, we have spiritual assets and liabilities. We have relationship assets and liabilities. We have intellectual assets and liabilities. We have physical assets and liabilities. So even if you don't have a business, to think like a business means that you might have to sit your behind down, get you a piece of paper, write down on one side of the paper assets, write down on the other side of the paper liabilities, and maybe on the side put spiritual, financial, intellectual, relational, and physical, and figure out how many assets do you have and put it against the liabilities you have in that same area. So I got spiritual assets. What spiritual liabilities do I have? I got financial assets. What financial liabilities do I have? I got intellectual assets. What intellectual liabilities do I have? I got physical assets. What physical liabilities? I got relational assets. You got to go through that. You have to do the work. This is what I'm saying. Most people, I'm sorry to say it, and it may sound strong and offensive when I say most people, but I've done enough work with people, individuals. I've been a pastor for almost 20 years, been a full-time preacher for 25. I've worked with a lot of people in the church and out of the church. My wife and I, we've been entrepreneurs full time for 22 years. So we've worked with people on both sides of the spectrum. Saved people, unsaved people, tongue talkers, and people who can't talk English. We've worked with people from different races and backgrounds, all walks of life. And I'm telling you, most people do not want to do the kind of work I am encouraging you and admonishing you to do. Because what most people want to do is, most people want to hope that at some point, God or the universe or whatever they waiting on, or whoever they waiting on, would fix the things that they broke or the things that they've accepted that are broke. So even if I didn't break it, if somebody else broke it, I don't have to accept it. And I got to be willing to do the internal work. And that is the hard part, to do the work. Like I said, whether you are a business owner or an employee or a stay-at-home parent or on a fixed income, it really doesn't matter. You should know what type of balance sheet you have, what liabilities and what assets you have in those areas. Okay? So that's set bigger goals, number one, prioritize income, number two, and think like a business, number three. I got plenty more I can give y'all, but it's almost 12:30, and I do my best to stick to at least a 30-minute window on this live. But please let me know in the comments, in the chat, while we're still live on this beautiful Millionaire Monday, what your biggest takeaway was so far. Let me know what you think about these three things, because this is how you become recession proof. You can recession proof your life by doing these things. Now, there are other things that you have to do. In order for you to get those other things, you're probably going to have to reach out to me and join me tonight for my live coaching call and be a part of our community, which the truth is this: if you ain't got no coach, no community, you're not being held accountable, you the Lone Ranger doing your own thing your own way, that's some of the reason why you where you are right now. Let's just keep it 100. That's just some of the reason why you where you are right now. Again, this is another thing that most people don't want to accept, because most people got egos. Most people got this limited belief to think that they got it all figured out when they don't got it figured out. So when somebody stands or sits in front of me and acts like they got it all figured out, they got the sauce, they got the recipe, they got the formula to be successful, but they ain't successful, and can't nobody hold them accountable, I think to myself, this is why you where you are. So I hate to be as brash as I am, but the truth is the truth. And I have an ego, okay? I'm a strong-willed individual. I guess you can say I'm an alpha male, but guess what? I have people who hold me accountable. I've got mentors. I've got a business coach. I've got people in my life, and I'm not just talking about my wifey, because sometimes you can use that as an angle to make people think you're being held accountable, but other men, other leaders as well, other people who can step in and say, hey, what are you doing? Like, you got to get this right if you want to continue to move forward, especially if you're going to be a leader, if you're going to be an influencer, if you're going to be the legacy builder for your family. You got to put those things in place. So again, my prayer is that you will do your due diligence today and moving forward to make sure that your life is recession proof. If there's anything my team and I can do to help you, whether it's an advisory session to help you put a roadmap together, or maybe you would like to be a part of our coaching and educational community, just click the link in the description. There's an advisory assessment form that you can complete, and we'll reach out to you absolutely free. There's also 2 contact numbers. You can call our office. We're always here, at least Monday through Friday. We're here, and a lot of Saturdays we're here. But we're open. You can call on Sunday, and somebody's going to answer that phone, because we stay ready. We're staying ready because we're always moving in the direction of the goals that we've set. So